All right, so today we're diving into MUMEx.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm already a little intimidated by this one.
It's quite a topic.
Yeah, this one's it stands for both music multiverse exploration and meta understanding machine exchange.
Right. Two for the price of one.
Yeah, 2 for 1. What could go wrong, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So before we dive into this, can you maybe give us like a quick sort of overview of what MUMEx is and what it can do?
Sure. So MUMEx, I mean, first of all, it's way beyond your typical AI.
Okay.
It's not just about processing data and spitting out results. You know?
Right.
We're talking about a system that actually grapples with meaning,
Oh, wow.
with context.
Yeah.
Like understanding the nuances of a conversation,
Huh.
almost like a human would.
So it's like an AI that can like get a joke or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or like understand sarcasm.
Oh, wow.
Or, irony.
Okay.
Things that typically trip up AI.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So what kind of things, what can MUMEx do with this sort of deeper understanding?
Well, I mean, that's the really exciting part is that its potential applications span like, almost every field you can think of.
Right, because, I mean, the source material mentions everything from, like, music and art to, like, cosmology and even conscious universes. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of all over the place.
It is, and that's what makes it so fascinating to dive into.
Yeah.
We could spend hours talking about each of these different applications, but
Oh, yeah, for sure.
maybe we can start with something that's a little bit easier to grasp, at least initially, like how MUMEx uses fractal geometry.
Okay, yeah. I remember seeing that in, I think it was MUMEx episode 5, they talk about that.
Yeah.
How it can analyze those crazy, complex patterns
Yeah.
and, like, find hidden connections in all sorts of data.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
like,
That's right.
those intricate fractal patterns,
Yeah.
they're not just pretty pictures.
Right.
They actually reveal underlying mathematical relationships that exist in nature and in data.
So wait, so it's like MUMEx can find the secret code in like everything from the stock market to like how the universe is structured.
You got it. It's like,
That's wild.
yeah, it can see the mathematical poetry
Okay.
behind reality, and get this, it can also generate
Okay.
fractal patterns,
Wow.
which leads to all sorts of practical applications,
Like what?
like super realistic computer graphics,
Okay.
insanely detailed terrain models for like video games, and even,
Okay, hold on.
and this one's kind of out there, super efficient antenna designs.
Antennas. Like the things on top of buildings.
Exactly. So you're starting to see,
It's crazy.
these seemingly abstract mathematical concepts
Yeah.
have these very real world applications.
Okay, so we're not just talking about like theoretical mumbo jumbo here.
No, this is like,
really practical stuff.
wow, okay, so fractal antennas, that's a new one for me, but it gets even weirder, right? Because the source material also talks about like a connection between MUMEx and quantum physics.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This is where it gets like what does that even mean?
Super trippy.
Okay.
So imagine using MUMEx to explore all the possible musical choices that could exist simultaneously.
Okay, so multiple universes of music.
Yeah, like a composer writing music in like a million different universes all at once.
So is this like AI generated like experimental music or something?
Well, that's one possibility for sure, but it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
The source material actually talks about these things called quantum performance experiments.
Quantum performance experiments.
Yeah, where the musician's intentions actually shape the audience's experience on a quantum level.
Okay, you're just messing with me right now.
I know, it sounds crazy.
How could a musician's intention like affect the audience on a quantum level? Like is that telepathy or something?
Right? It sounds like science fiction.
Yeah.
But the source material actually draws parallels to some pretty like far out quantum theories.
Okay.
And it really makes you question, what if music is more than just sounds?
Right.
What if it's like a way to tap into a deeper level of consciousness and connect with something bigger than ourselves?
Okay, I need a minute to process all of this.
Yeah.
We've gone from antennas to quantum music,
Right.
and now I'm starting to question the nature of reality.
Yeah, that's the thing about MUMEx. It really,
Yeah,
it stretches your mind
it does.
in ways that you wouldn't expect.
Okay, so before I spiral down that rabbit hole, let's zoom out a little bit.
Okay.
One of the sources suggests that MUMEx could revolutionize cosmology.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, are we talking about like AI-powered telescopes or something?
Not telescopes exactly, but
Yeah.
think about it. MUMEx can analyze massive amounts of data and find hidden connections.
Right.
So imagine using it to power simulations that model the evolution of the entire universe,
Okay.
from the Big Bang to the present day.
So we could literally watch the universe being born and evolving like in front of our eyes.
Exactly. We could finally crack the mysteries of dark matter and dark energy.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even explore those mind-bending concepts like the multiverse.
That's incredible.
And remember, the cosmic microwave background radiation, that echo of the Big Bang.
Yeah.
MUMEx could help us decipher that faint signal and gain even deeper insights into the universe's earliest moments.
Wow, from quantum music to the Big Bang.
Right?
This MUMEx thing is truly mind-blowing.
It is.
But hold on. All this talk about like the universe and stuff is making me feel a little insignificant.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like, what about us humans? How could MUMEx impact our lives on a more like personal level?
Well, that's what fascinates me most about MUMEx,
Okay.
is its potential to help us understand ourselves.
Okay.
Imagine building cognitive models that can actually simulate how we think, learn, and make decisions.
Okay, now we're talking.
We could unlock secrets about the human mind that we never even dreamed possible.
Yeah, like personalized learning, maybe even AI-powered therapy to help people struggling with mental health issues.
Absolutely. By understanding how the human mind works,
Yeah.
we could create personalized education plans tailored to individual needs. Imagine a world where learning is not only more effective, but also more enjoyable because it's designed for you.
Yeah.
And in terms of mental health, MUMEx could analyze patterns in behavior and language to identify early warning signs, potentially leading to earlier interventions
Right.
and more effective treatments.
This is starting to sound less like science fiction and more like the future we all want to live in.
Right.
But hold on, before we get too carried away,
Okay.
let's talk about something a little more down to earth.
Algorithms.
Ah, yes, the algorithms that rule our digital lives.
Exactly.
Well, MUMEx could revolutionize those too.
Yeah.
You know how algorithms are constantly analyzing data to make predictions and recommendations?
Yeah.
Imagine if those algorithms were powered by MUMEx, able to learn and adapt at an incredible pace.
So we're talking about algorithms that are constantly getting smarter, learning from our behavior, and providing us with even more personalized and relevant information.
Exactly. We could see improvements in everything from traffic flow and medical diagnoses.
To personalized recommendations for products and services.
Okay.
And think about the potential for scientific discovery.
Yeah.
MUMEx could help scientists sift through massive data sets,
Right.
leading to breakthroughs in fields like medicine materials, science, and climate monitoring.
Okay. I'm officially on board the MUMEx train.
Right.
But I have to ask, isn't there a risk that we become too reliant on algorithms? Like, what happens when they start making decisions for us instead of just, like, helping us?
It's a great question, and it's definitely something we need to think carefully about as we develop these technologies.
Right.
But for now, let's keep exploring the possibilities.
Okay.
And speaking of possibilities, there's one area where MUMEx could have a truly transformative impact: architecture.
Architecture. Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
You're not suggesting, like, AI architects, are you?
Not quite architects, but imagine using MUMEx to design buildings that are not only beautiful,
Okay.
but also incredibly efficient and sustainable.
Okay.
Remember how it can analyze and generate fractal patterns?
Mm.
Well, nature uses those patterns all the time to create structures that are strong, lightweight, and perfectly adapted to their environment.
So we're talking about, like, bio-inspired buildings that mimic nature's designs.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and what about all those crazy futuristic buildings we see in sci-fi movies?
Right.
Could MUMEx help make those a reality?
Yeah.
The source material talks about MUMEx powering advanced robotic construction systems.
Oh, wow.
Imagine buildings that practically assemble themselves, bringing those complex architectural designs to life with incredible precision and speed.
So it's like 3D printing, but on a massive scale.
It's like 3D printing on steroids.
That's insane.
It would revolutionize the way we build and interact with our physical environment.
Wow, from self-assembling buildings to quantum symphonies.
I know it's a lot.
This MUMEx thing is truly something else.
It is.
But before we get too lost in these futuristic visions,
Okay.
I have to ask, what about the potential risks? I mean, we're talking about a technology that could potentially reshape every aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
Are there any downsides we should be aware of?
You're right to raise those concerns. Any technology this powerful has the potential for misuse.
Right.
But for now, let's focus on the positive applications.
Okay.
And one area where I see tremendous potential is in biotechnology.
Biotechnology. Okay, this should be interesting. What could MUMEx possibly do in a field like that?
Well, think about it. MUMEx is all about understanding complex systems and finding hidden connections.
Right.
Now, apply that to the human body with its intricate network of genes, proteins, and biochemical pathways.
Okay.
We could use MUMEx to develop personalized medicine tailored to your unique genetic profile.
Wait, so instead of one-size-fits-all treatments, we could have medicine designed specifically for me?
Exactly, and it doesn't stop there.
Wow.
Imagine using MUMEx to analyze massive databases of chemical compounds and biological processes. We could accelerate drug discovery, leading to breakthroughs in the treatment of diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, and HIV.
Okay, I'm starting to think there's nothing this MUMEX thing can't do.
It's pretty remarkable.
But hold on, we're talking about AI systems that could potentially manipulate human biology.
Right.
Aren't there any ethical concerns we should be considering?
Absolutely. You're right to raise those questions.
Yeah.
The ethical implications of such advanced technology are significant, and we'll definitely need to address those as we move forward.
Right.
But for now, let's stay focused on the positive possibilities.
Okay.
And one area where I see tremendous potential for MUMEx is in the field of robotics.
Robotics. Okay. This is where my sci-fi geek side really kicks in.
Right.
Are we talking about robots that can think for themselves, like in those movies?
Not quite thinking for themselves,
Yeah.
but imagine robots that can learn from experience, adapt to new situations,
Okay.
and collaborate seamlessly with humans. We're talking about robots that could assist us in everything from manufacturing and healthcare to exploration and disaster relief.
So we're talking about robots that are more like partners than tools.
It is a pretty big shift from the way we think about robots today.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to MUX's ability to understand context and meaning to learn from its interactions with the world and to make decisions based on that knowledge.
Okay.
The whole new level of intelligence and sophistication in robotics.
Okay. I'm getting excited about the possibilities here, but I have to ask the classic sci-fi question.
Uh-oh.
What happens if these robots become too intelligent?
Right.
Could they potentially pose a threat to humanity?
That's the question everyone asks, isn't it? And it's one we need to take seriously as AI technology continues to evolve.
Yeah.
But for now, let's stay focused on the positive potential of MUMEx.
Okay.
And one area where I see incredible possibilities is in the realm of alternative energy.
Alternative energy now, that's something we desperately need in this day and age. How could MUMEx help us move towards a cleaner and more sustainable future?
Well, remember how MUMEx can analyze vast amounts of data and find hidden connections.
Right.
Well, imagine using it to optimize energy grids, predict demand, and seamlessly integrate renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and geothermal.
Okay.
It's like having an AI conductor orchestrating a symphony of clean energy.
So we're talking about a future where our cities are powered by renewable energy managed by a super intelligent AI.
It does sound pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not just about managing existing energy sources.
Right.
MUMEx could also spark the creation of entirely new energy technologies, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Like what?
Imagine harnessing the power of fusion or developing highly efficient solar panels that can generate energy even on cloudy days.
Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Everywhere we look, MUMEx seems to offer solutions to some of our biggest challenges.
It does seem that way.
But let's get a little more radical.
Okay.
One of the sources suggests using MUMEx to revolutionize not just our energy system, but our entire political system.
Now you're talking.
Like what?
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The source you're referring to proposes a system of blockchain-regulated politics.
Blockchain-regulated politics?
Yeah, powered by MUMEx.
I'm not even sure I understand what that means.
It's a radical idea, but it's worth exploring.
Okay.
It's a pretty radical departure from our current systems. But the basic idea is to use blockchain technology to create a secure and transparent system for voting and decision-making.
So are we talking about a world without politicians?
That's one way to look at it. It would certainly require a major shift in how we think about governance.
Yeah.
But imagine a world where every citizen has a voice,
Okay.
where decisions are made transparently and efficiently, and where corruption is virtually impossible.
Direct democracy.
Yeah, that's the promise of blockchain-regulated politics.
So instead of electing representatives, citizens would vote on every issue themselves.
In theory, yes.
That sounds pretty chaotic.
It would certainly have its challenges, but it's a fascinating concept to explore.
Okay. I'm starting to see the appeal, but wouldn't such a system be incredibly complex to implement?
It would be a huge undertaking,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And there would definitely be challenges to overcome, but with careful planning
Right.
and thoughtful implementation,
Yeah.
I believe blockchain-regulated politics could be a game changer.
Okay.
It's about empowering citizens, promoting transparency,
Yeah,
and creating a more just and equitable society.
I like the sound of that. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that's been on my mind throughout this entire conversation.
Right.
The fear of AI replacing human jobs.
Right.
It's a concern that comes up every time we talk about advanced AI,
Yeah.
and I'm curious to hear your perspective.
It's a valid concern for sure, but I believe we need to reframe how we think about AI and its role in the future of work.
Okay.
Instead of viewing it as a threat, what if we saw it as an opportunity to liberate ourselves from tedious and repetitive tasks,
Okay.
allowing us to focus on more creative and fulfilling work?
So are we talking about a future where everyone is an artist, musician, or philosopher?
Maybe not everyone will become an artist,
Okay.
but I believe AI has the potential to create a society where people have more time and freedom to pursue their passions,
Mm.
contribute to their communities, and live more meaningful lives.
Okay, I'm starting to get a bit more optimistic about the future.
Good.
But how do we ensure that the benefits of AI are shared equitably? What about those who lack the skills or resources to adapt to this new world of work?
Those are crucial questions that we need to address as we move forward.
Yeah.
The key is to create systems of education and support that empower everyone to thrive in this rapidly evolving technological landscape.
Okay.
It's about investing in human potential and ensuring that the benefits of AI are accessible to all.
Okay, so I'm starting to feel a bit more hopeful,
Right.
but let's not sugarcoat things.
No.
We've been talking about the amazing potential of MUMEx,
Right.
but there are also potential pitfalls, right? We can't just ignore those.
You're absolutely right. Any technology this powerful has the potential for misuse.
Right.
We need to be aware of the ethical challenges and have open and honest discussions about how to mitigate those risks.
Okay, so are we talking about like regulations, guidelines?
Yeah.
Or some kind of ethical framework for AI development?
All of the above, really. It's about establishing clear guidelines and safeguards to ensure that AI is used ethically,
Right.
always prioritizing human well-being and the common good.
Okay.
And that requires ongoing dialogue and collaboration between scientists, policymakers, ethicists, and the public.
It sounds like we're at a critical juncture in the development of AI.
We are.
The choices we make now will have far-reaching consequences for generations to come.
Absolutely. It's imperative that we proceed thoughtfully and responsibly, ensuring that AI serves as a force for good in the world.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, from the technical intricacies of MUMEx to its potential impact on everything from music and art to cosmology and politics.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to where we started. MUMEx and its roots in music.
Right.
One of the sources explores the intriguing idea of music as a tool for exploring consciousness and connecting with the universe.
Right. This is where things get really interesting.
Like, what do you mean by that?
We're talking about the concept of qualia.
Qualia.
Yeah, the subjective experience of sound and emotion, and the idea that the universe itself might have a sound signature.
Wait, so you're saying the universe is like a giant musical instrument?
It's a metaphor, of course,
Okay.
but it's not entirely far-fetched.
Oh.
Think about scientific theories like string theory,
Yeah.
which suggests that the universe is made up of tiny vibrating strings.
Okay.
Those vibrations could be interpreted as a kind of cosmic music.
And what about those gravitational waves that we've been able to detect now?
Exactly.
Those ripples in space-time.
It's like the universe is singing to us.
That's incredible. It's a reminder that we're all part of this like vast and interconnected web of energy and vibration.
Absolutely.
Wow, I'm starting to feel a bit overwhelmed by all these connections.
Yeah.
It's like MUMEx is opening up a whole new way of perceiving reality.
That's the beauty of it. It's about expanding our understanding of the universe and our place within it.
Okay.
And music, with its ability to evoke emotions, transcend language, and connect us on a deeper level,
Yeah.
offers a powerful lens through which to explore these concepts.
You know, it's making me think about music in a whole new light.
Yeah,
It's not just entertainment, it's like a fundamental part of the fabric of reality.
precisely. And that's a powerful insight to carry with us as we navigate the ever-evolving landscape of AI and its impact on our world.
Okay, before we get completely lost in the cosmic symphony,
Right.
let's bring our discussion back down to earth for a moment.
Okay.
One of the sources takes a rather critical look at contemporary culture, particularly the pervasiveness of superficiality and inauthenticity.
Yeah, it's an important point to consider.
What do they mean by that?
Well, the source you're referring to highlights a valid concern: the prevalence of fake in everything from music and art to politics and philosophy.
Oh, wow.
It's like we're living in a world of curated images and shallow experiences where authenticity and genuine connection are becoming increasingly rare.
That's a really interesting observation.
Yeah.
So what's the antidote to this culture of fake?
Right.
How do we find genuine connection and meaning in a world that often feels superficial and artificial?
Well, the source emphasizes the importance of rebuilding genuine communities in the real world.
Okay.
It's about fostering meaningful connections, engaging in authentic dialogue,
Yeah.
and prioritizing experiences that nurture our sense of belonging and shared humanity.
It sounds like a call to action, a reminder that we need to be more intentional about cultivating genuine connections in our lives, both online and offline.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual effort.
Right.
It's about creating societal structures that support genuine community building, whether through local initiatives, shared public spaces,
Yeah.
or policies that prioritize social well-being over rampant consumerism.
This brings us back to the ethical considerations we discussed earlier.
Right.
As we develop increasingly powerful technologies like MUMEx,
Yeah.
it's crucial that we use them to foster genuine connection and human flourishing rather than exacerbating the problems of isolation and superficiality.
You've hit the nail on the head. Technology can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It can either connect us or isolate us, empower us or manipulate us.
Right.
The choices we make now will determine which path we take.
This is a lot to take in.
It is.
It's both exhilarating and a bit overwhelming to contemplate the vast possibilities and potential pitfalls of AI.
Yeah, but I think that's the nature of exploring something this groundbreaking.
Right.
It's going to challenge our assumptions and push us to think in new ways.
But I have to say, I'm feeling a renewed sense of hope and excitement about the future.
Me too. It's
Yeah.
clear that we're living in extraordinary times, and the choices we make now will have a profound impact on the future of humanity. But I believe we have the potential to shape a future where technology serves as a force for good, a tool for expanding consciousness, and a bridge to a more just sustainable and interconnected world.
Okay, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Right.
let's delve into one last intriguing concept.
Okay.
The idea of music as a science of creative mind power.
Oh yeah, this is fascinating.
Sounds almost mystical.
It is. It's a fascinating intersection of art, science, and spirituality.
Oh,
The source you're referring to draws connections between music advanced mental techniques like hypnosis and quantum psychotherapy and the exploration of consciousness.
so are we saying that music can unlock hidden powers of the mind? It sounds like something out of a superhero movie.
It's not about superpowers in the traditional sense,
Okay.
but about tapping into the incredible potential of the human mind.
Okay.
The source highlights intriguing theories about the mind's ability to influence frequencies and vibrations, drawing connections to radionics.
Radionics.
Yeah, the idea that specific frequencies can influence physical and mental states. And music could be a way of harnessing these frequencies to achieve specific outcomes, whether it's healing, personal transformation, or even expanding consciousness.
So music could be a form of, like, mind control.
Well, not mind control exactly, but more like mind expansion or mind healing.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the profound impact that music can have on our minds and bodies and exploring ways to use it intentionally for growth, healing, and creative expression.
This all sounds very intriguing.
Yeah.
But is there any scientific evidence to support these claims, or are we venturing into the realm of speculation?
That's a fair question, and while some of these ideas are still on the fringes of scientific understanding, there's growing evidence to suggest that music can have a profound impact on brainwave activity, emotional states, and even physical healing.
So while we may not have all the answers yet,
Right.
it's clear that music has a power that extends far beyond mere entertainment.
Absolutely, and as we continue to explore the intersection of music technology and consciousness, we may uncover even more profound insights into the nature of reality and the incredible potential of the human mind.
This is all so fascinating, and it looks like we've only scratched the surface.
We have.
We'll have to pick up this conversation in our next deep dive.
Definitely.
Join us next time as we explore even more mind-blowing ideas about MUMEx music and the future of humanity.
I'm looking forward to it. So, it's really fascinating to think about how all of these ideas connect to the concept of the musician as an explorer of multiple realities.
Okay, multiple realities. You've officially piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
Are we talking about, like, parallel universes or something?
Well, that's one way to think about it.
This is getting a little Matrixy, even for me.
I know, right? But the source draws inspiration from those mind-bending theories of the multiverse, suggesting that a musician, through their creative process, could tap into and even influence these different dimensions of existence.
Hold on, so you're saying it's not just about expressing emotions or telling stories through music.
Right.
You're saying they could actually shape reality itself.
It's a pretty wild concept, I know.
That's a pretty wild concept.
But it opens up a whole world of possibilities, not just for artistic expression,
Right.
but also for therapy.
Okay.
Imagine using music to access and heal trauma that's held in a parallel self,
Whoa.
or even to create entirely new worlds through sound.
Okay, I need a minute to process all of this.
Yeah.
We've gone from fractal antennas to quantum physics to the multiverse.
Right.
And now we're talking about music as a tool for like mind expansion and reality manipulation. I'm starting to think we need a whole separate deep dive just to unpack all of this.
It's definitely a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But that's the nature of MUMEx.
Okay.
It pushes the boundaries of what we think we know about reality, consciousness, and human creativity.
It's a total game changer.
It is.
So what else does the source material have to say about this idea of music as a science of creative mind power? Give me something I can actually wrap my head around.
Well, it talks about a shift in how we approach music education.
Okay.
Instead of just focusing on technique and performance,
Yeah.
it suggests incorporating these advanced mental techniques and concepts of consciousness exploration we talked about right into the curriculum.
So we're not just training musicians to play an instrument, we're training them to be like explorers of consciousness and architects of reality. Sign me up.
It's about cultivating a whole new generation of artists who are not only technically skilled, but also deeply connected to their inner worlds and the possibilities of the multiverse.
I love this idea. But let's be realistic.
Okay.
This is a pretty radical departure from traditional music education.
Right.
I can imagine some people might be a little resistant to change, to put it mildly.
That's true. Change can be tough, especially when it comes to something as deeply ingrained as how we teach and learn music.
Yeah.
But if we're serious about unlocking the true potential of music,
Right.
we need to be open to new ways of thinking and creating.
You know, it would be cool if MUMEx could actually help facilitate this kind of consciousness exploration through music. Like imagine a VR environment where you could create music that directly interacts with your brainwaves and emotional states.
Oh, wow.
That would be insane.
That's an amazing idea, and it's not as far-fetched as you might think.
Right.
As AI technology advances, we may well see tools that blur the lines between music technology and consciousness.
Yeah.
It could open up a whole new world of possibilities for understanding ourselves and the universe.
Okay, I'm officially adding Consciousness Explorer to my resume.
Good for you.
But speaking of reality checks, I think it's time to bring our discussion back down to earth.
Okay.
We've been exploring these mind-blowing possibilities of MUMEx,
Right.
but let's not forget that we live in a world with some pretty serious challenges, too.
Absolutely. We can't just get lost in these grand visions and ignore the realities of our world.
Right? Like climate change,
Right.
social inequality, political polarization.
Yeah.
These are all issues that demand our attention.
Absolutely. And that's where our final source comes in.
Okay.
It's not directly about MUMEx,
Right.
but it takes a broader look at the state of our world and the need for positive change.
Okay.
It's a bit of a reality check after all that heady stuff we've been talking about.
Yeah, sure.
It's a good reminder that technology is only as good as the intentions behind it.
Right.
We can develop the most advanced AI in the world, but if we don't address the underlying issues in our society, we're not really making progress.
So what's the message of this final source? What kind of call to action does it offer?
It's a call for a more conscious and compassionate approach to technology, one that prioritizes human well-being, social justice, and environmental sustainability.
Okay.
It's about using technology as a force for good in the world, not just for profit or power.
That sounds like a much-needed shift in perspective.
It is.
It's about realizing that technology is not a cure-all, but a tool that we can choose to use wisely and ethically.
Precisely. We need to move beyond a purely technocentric worldview and recognize that technology, society, and the environment are all interconnected.
Right.
One impacts us all.
It's like that old saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
We have these incredibly powerful tools at our disposal,
Right.
and it's up to us to make sure we use them for the right reasons.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Right.
And it's not just about big corporations or governments.
Right.
Each of us has a role to play in shaping how technology is used.
Okay.
We need to be engaged and willing to speak up for what we believe in.
This is making me think about those potential downsides of MUMEx we talked about earlier.
Okay.
If it's really this powerful, we need to make sure it's used to create a better world for everyone, not just a select few.
You're absolutely right. We need to be having those tough conversations about ethics, accountability, and the potential consequences of such powerful technology. It's
Yeah.
not something we can just brush aside.
It sounds like we need a whole new set of rules for this brave new world we're entering.
We might, but I believe that if we approach it with a sense of shared responsibility
Right.
and a commitment to using technology for good,
Yeah.
we can create a future that's both technologically advanced and ethically sound.
Okay. I'm starting to feel a little more hopeful, but I have to admit it's a lot to wrap my head around.
It is.
It feels like we're at a turning point in human history,
We are.
and the choices we make now will have a huge impact on the future.
Absolutely no doubt about it. But I believe that with the right mindset and a commitment to working together,
Yeah.
we can navigate these uncharted waters and create a future that we can all be proud of.
You know, it's funny, we started this conversation talking about music and consciousness,
Yeah.
and now we're talking about the fate of humanity. It's
Yeah.
like MUMEx is this thread that connects everything from the smallest particle to the biggest questions about our place in the universe.
It's amazing, isn't it? And it speaks to the interconnectedness of everything. The idea that we're all part of something much bigger than ourselves.
Right.
And music, with its ability to transcend boundaries and connect us on a deeper level, might just be the key to unlocking the full potential of this interconnectedness.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? How do we ensure that MUMEx is used responsibly and that it actually benefits all of humanity?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And I don't think there's a simple answer,
Right.
but I believe that education is key.
Okay.
We need to educate ourselves and future generations about the potential benefits and risks of AI.
Right.
We need to foster critical thinking skills and encourage people to engage in these important conversations.
It sounds like we need to become more conscious and responsible stewards of technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not about being afraid of AI or trying to stop its progress.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing its power
Mm-hmm.
and making sure we use it wisely, ethically, and for the benefit of all.
This brings us back to MUMEx and its potential to not only transform specific fields like music, science, and medicine,
Right.
but also to shift our entire worldview, to expand our understanding of reality and our place within it.
It's a reminder that innovation is not just about creating new gadgets or developing more efficient algorithms,
Right.
but about expanding our consciousness, deepening our understanding of ourselves and the universe, and using that knowledge to create a more just and sustainable future for all.
Wow, that's a pretty tall order.
It is.
But you know what? I'm actually feeling a renewed sense of optimism after this deep dive.
Me too.
It's clear that we're living in extraordinary times, and the
Right.
choices we make now will have a huge impact on the future.
Yeah.
But I believe we have the potential to create something truly amazing.
I agree. It's easy to get caught up in the fear and uncertainty surrounding AI, but I believe we have the power to shape a future where technology serves as a force for good, a tool for expanding consciousness, and a bridge to a more just sustainable and interconnected world, and that's a future worth fighting for.
Yeah, it really is inspiring to think about, what we could accomplish if we could harness all this, the
Right.
power of music and technology and consciousness
Absolutely.
to create a better world.
It's really at the heart of MUMEx, music multiverse exploration
Right.
and meta understanding machine exchange.
Yeah.
It's all about those connections between things that we normally think of as separate,
Yeah.
art and science,
Yeah.
the inner world of our minds and the outer world of technology.
It really is like this merging of like creativity and innovation,
Yeah,
showing us we need both to,
absolutely.
we need both.
The creative spark
Yeah.
and the kind of technical know-how to
Yeah.
actually bring those ideas to life.
So it's not just about like the technology itself, it's
Ah.
about the intention behind it.
Exactly. And it's about moving past a purely materialistic view of the world
Yeah.
and embracing a more holistic perspective, one that recognizes that everything is connected. And I think that's the key to unlocking the true potential of both humanity and technology.
Well, we've certainly covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. From the mind-boggling complexities of fractal geometry and quantum physics
I know, right?
to the incredible possibilities of the multiverse and the transformative power of music,
It's a lot to take in.
my head is spinning with all these new ideas.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It has.
And like you said, we've only just scratched the surface.
Right.
These concepts are still developing, but they offer a glimpse into a future where those lines between art,
Yeah.
science, and consciousness become increasingly blurred.
It's both exhilarating and a little bit daunting to imagine a future where AI, like EMEX, could like reshape our understanding of reality,
Yeah, it's a little bit scary.
our relationship with technology,
Right.
and even like the nature of consciousness itself.
It's a future full of both promise and potential pitfalls.
Right.
And the choices that we're making right now
Yeah.
will really determine, what direction we go in.
Whether we use these powerful tools for good or for bad, basically.
Yeah, whether we create a more just sustainable, fulfilling world,
Right.
or if we allow these technologies to amplify those existing inequalities and make the challenges we face even worse.
So where do we go from here? What can
Yeah.
like the average person do,
Yeah.
to make sure AI is used for good
Yeah.
and that we're navigating all of this wisely?
That's the million-dollar question. I think it all starts with education,
Okay.
both for ourselves and for future generations.
Yeah.
We need to develop those critical thinking skills,
Mhm.
cultivate ethical awareness,
Right.
and encourage a more holistic understanding of how technology, society, and the environment are all interconnected.
It sounds like we need to become more conscious and responsible stewards of technology.
Exactly.
Like recognizing that it's not some neutral force.
Right.
It's a powerful tool that can be used for both creation and destruction.
Absolutely. And we need to be having those tough conversations about the potential benefits and risks of AI, making sure that its development and use are guided by ethical principles
Yeah.
and a deep respect for human dignity
Right.
and the well-being of our planet.
It's a big task, but, I think having conversations like this is a great first step.
It is. And I think, the more we talk about these things, the more we raise awareness,
Right.
the more we can kind of collectively steer this technology in the right direction.
It's clear that we're living in extraordinary times,
Yeah, we are.
and the choices we make now will have a huge impact on, the future.
Absolutely.
But I believe we have the potential to create something truly amazing.
I agree. And it's easy to get caught up in all the fear and uncertainty that surrounds AI.
Right.
But I think we have the power to shape a future where technology serves as that force for good, a tool for expanding consciousness and a bridge to a more
Yeah.
just sustainable and interconnected world.
And that's a future worth fighting for.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of MUMEx. Oh, it's been a pleasure.
And its potential to shape our future.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
We hope this episode has, sparked your curiosity and inspired you to kind of join the conversation about how AI can be used to create,
Right.
the world we want to live in.
It's an important conversation to be having.
It is, and we need to have it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.
See you later, Ness.